coordination in the way this is being handled. Now, two key points. One, if she weighed in at 49.8 or 49.7 before in the morning, they say that the weight apparently went up more than normal. Now, you see very carefully that Dr. Pardiwala did not mention whether it went up by 2.5 kgs or 2.7 kgs or whatever as being claimed on social media. We don't know the official weight.
No, that's not true. PT Usha said it's 50 kilos plus 100 grams. She said that.
No, Barkha. I'm talking about what was her weight the previous
prior
night.
to that,
Which they were trying.
Right.
Dr. Pardiwala said we found it to be significantly above the normal increase. Now, what that number was, we don't know. Which is why she had to go through this entire exercise of sitting in a sauna, starving through the night, and jogging and trying desperately to sweat and lose the weight. That's why they tried as a desperate measure. Now, the question is, there is a nutritionist who's attached with her. So questions will be asked. Why was she allowed to gain that much of weight between the, during the course of that particular one day? Was it the normal? What happened? So somebody has to be blamed, Barkha. You can't just say that,
So you are not contextualizing this like Sanjay Jha in the context of her fight against Brij Bhushan Saran, BJP leader. You are saying something is not adding up because of like her coach, her nutritionist. Somebody has to answer. These are two different things.
There are two different things. Now, what their motive? See, there are two things here. Vinesh's husband apparently was present on the spot. Now, that is what is mentioned by multiple media outlets. The point I'm trying to make is, look, she is not a child going to her first games. So there would have been some awareness of what she needs to take and what she, how much her weight is likely to increase and so on. But at the end of the day, the buck stops at the coaches, at the team that manages her nutritionist and her coach. They are the eventual ones who will have to, take the responsibility. So if this, there were two things. One is she has always been traditionally contesting in the 53 kg. And she moved to the 50 kg because she believed that she had a better chance of winning a medal at 50 kg because the first two Olympics, she was knocked out in the quarterfinals. Now, the key, I am not for a moment going down the Sanjay Jha route here on this case, though we often agree on a lot of things. On this case, I don't think that this is a grand conspiracy which has been hatched in Delhi to deny her a medal. No, I don't think that is there at all. And if that is the case, there is no evidence at all of that at this moment. But there is evidence that some people have completely screwed up, whether it is her coach, whether it is her nutritionist, whoever is the team, that whether the IOA. Look, here is the lady, Barkha, 1 minute. Here is the lady who's likely to be the first gold medal winner for India at the Olympic Games. Nobody from the IOA monitored her carefully during that period. So somebody in the bucket somewhere. That's the point.
I think before I get Arshi in, I think Sanjay Jha, brief interjection there, because Sumanth's argument is very different from yours. You are contextualizing her entire debacle, because it is a horrible debacle in the context of her fight with a BJP leader, right? Your sabotage is something you believe has shades of politics to it. Sumanth is saying there has been a screw up. Somebody has to be held responsible. We have to find out what was that meal that she was given. What did her coach ask her to do? Did the IOC do what they needed to do? But he's not connecting it to her year-long battle with Brij Bhushan Saran. Why are you connecting it? Very brief, because Arshi has to come in.
Yeah, sure. Barkha, I think you and Sumanth here have missed, as they say, the woods for the trees. I have not said it. Vinesh has said it herself. She's put it on record.
Vinesh hasn't spoken right now.
Hang on. Barkha, let me finish. She has said it publicly. I mean, she will speak for sure. She has said it publicly a few months ago. She said that there was an attempt to sabotage her for even going to the Paris Olympics. These are the words of the individual who today is nationally center stage. These are not my words. She has accused the entire nexus of Brij Bhushan Singh and Sanjay Singh, not accrediting her coach or a physio. She said there's an attempt. She's even gone so far as to mention that it's possible that they will frame her in doping. These are her words. How can you and I here sit on this channel and not give it the importance that it deserves? These were her apprehensions. That is her anxiety out in the
this
public
is
domain.
okay. I do remember the headline. It was from April. We'll pull it up
Yeah, yeah.
as soon as we can. This is not that headline, guys. Can we please pull up the right headline? But in the meantime, Arshi, yes, we'll wait for Vinesh to give her own account of what's happened. But I think Sumanth is fair to ask. Somebody screwed up. Somebody has to be held accountable. I also know that it's very difficult to decontextualize Vinesh from her battle, where she continued to believe, even after Bridbhushan Saran had gone, that his people controlled the federation. Here's the headline that Sanjay was referring to. It's up on your screen right now. What if coaches try to mix something in my water and trap me in doping? So I think that's the
Exactly.
point, Sanjay. Okay. But, but I think we've seen everybody today, from the president to the prime minister to PT Usha. PT Usha was not usually hugely empathetic about those street protests, but everybody today has tried to rally around her. Point one. Point two, India has protested. Point three, a lot of journalists on the ground, Boria Majumdar and others, have made the argument that everything possible was done to help her. Where do you weigh in as a journalist on this entire episode, Arshi?
Hey, yeah. So, Barkha, everybody is talking about what has happened in the past few hours, right? But uh, we need to dive down into what has happened in the last 1 year, because what we are seeing today is not an outcome of just today, right? So, it is so important to reflect that why. So, Vinesh's natural category is 53 kgs, right? What were the reasons that she chose 50 kg? I think we need to talk about it. And obviously, the reason is tied down with the wrestlers' protest. So I will just, try to explain. I'll be very brief in this. At the Tokyo Olympic Games as well, Vinesh Phogat competed in the 53 kg category. And since then, she has stuck to it. And that said, everything changed once she began spearheading the protest against the former president of the Wrestling Federation of India, Bhushan Saran Singh, right? So spending days on the streets in the protest kept Vinesh away from the practice and the tournaments. Meanwhile, we have another wrestler. Her name is Antim Pangal, who is the under 20 world champion as well. She made rapid strides and emerged as the mainstay in the 53 category, weight category. So when Antim won bronze at the 2023 World Championship, she duly bagged the Olympic quota for the 53 kg category. Please note, if Vinesh had to, she had the time and energy to focus on her bout, she would have still played in that particular category. So when Antim, she bagged the Olympic quota for the 53 kg category, thereafter Antim consolidated her position as the top wrestler in the category by winning a bronze in the Asian Games as well. Please note, because of her time which was being taken away by the wrestler protest, even Vinesh couldn't go to the Asian Games, right? So Vinesh, to keep her Olympic aspiration alive, she had to pivot fast, and hence she took the decision of competing in the 50 kg category. So
Was
I
that
think
a correct? Was that the correct decision? In retrospect, was that the correct decision? Because I'm reading commentary saying she shouldn't have been allowed to do that. I don't know whose final decision that would have been.
but she had no other choice, right? Because in her weight category, someone else was going. So
I
what
see.
choice was she left with, right?
I
She has
see.
done
I
everything
see.
possible to go there and to represent our country. I think it's very, very important. I know right now everybody from all the aspects, political people, journalists, everybody, people who don't even understand sport, right? For example, you open Twitter, we are all seeing what kind of comments are being made, and a lot of insensitive comments as well. So as I said, Barkha, in the morning, right, good, bad, ugly, whatever is being thrown, it's on Vinesh. Nobody else's name is out there. We can go on and talk about whose fault this is, nutritionist or the federation or the ROA, etc. But the fact of the matter is that Vinesh is there. She's out there, fighting, be it on the street to fighting for the honor and dignity of the wrestlers, and now again for the country. So it's what has happened is extremely sad, but I think the narrative come to weave everything around that. Okay, some conspiracy has happened in the past 24 hours. That is not the case, but definitely if you go back and tie down and connect all the dots, the reason why Vinesh is not fighting in the 53 age category is the wrestler protest, right? So it's important to understand this aspect.
Okay, that is important contextualization. I know all of you are on very tight deadlines and you have other programs, so I'm going to take quick last comments. I'll start with you, Sandip. Can we unmute Sandeep?
Yeah, Barkha, what Arshi has said, I think that's very relevant. Suman and me are, I think, on the same page on this, and certainly there has to be investigation because in India, that is part of our this thing. Maybe people are casual. People didn't anticipate these things. Sometimes we are, way back when things were not so professional, and I've heard these stories from my father. There was a gentleman who was their contemporary, and I don't want to get into detail. He had gone in those days to Olympics. He was, I forgot, he was a boxer. He was in one category, but they said he got so excited the first after he won this first round. He went and sloshed himself that night, and next day when he went and he was found overweight and he lost, and it was a rest of his life was kind of drowned in that frustration. So, those days they used to do that sort of a thing. But I'm not saying that's the situation here, but I think people don't probably see it holistically. If that you're saying that if we saw a prospect of gold in her, then in other places they would probably be monitoring her, following through much more closely. That we probably don't have that discipline.
So there has been a lapse. Yeah, there has been a lapse. Sanjay, your last thoughts. Arshi says, yes, there's a context to the wrestlers' protest, and that context is that she lost a year of her sporting life because she was raising her voice on the street against Bhushan Saran. But other than that, in the last 24 hours, you can't allege a political conspiracy.